first update log files, right? How to create log files, log2 files, right? So now about errors. If there is any error occurred in between while running your robot, let's say you got errors. So two types of errors we are having in AI. One is handled errors, the other one is unhandled errors. So the name itself is saying handled errors. So if you know, okay, this I may got errors at this place. If you are predicting that one, okay, that's one that we call it as handled errors. Okay, that is quite easy. Let's say, for example, you are looking for a file. Let's say, for example, you have to open Excel file. So in the real-time coding, first you need to check for that file. First, whether that file exists or not, then open that command using open spreadsheet. Okay, inside our Excel command, we will do this. Okay, the Excel command you know how to open, right? Open spreadsheet command. This one we will use. So before using this command, you need to check whether that command exists or not, that file exists or not inside your local machine. Okay, first you will do that one and then you will open it. So if it does not exist, so we are predicting, okay, it may exist, it may not exist, two possible scenarios. So it may, first, how you will check that file? In if conditions, if file exists. Okay, this one we have discussed, if file exists. And here you can go with 0 only. Okay, most of the times if you are looking inside your local machine, all the process will look inside in our machine itself. Okay, will not look into the shared path. Very less scenarios will get. Anyway, if it is shared path, just provide 3-4 seconds. If it is local, 0 is fine. Okay, and your path where you want to check. While discussing about files and folders, we have checked, right? Like this, it will be. But these locations, as you know, we'll read it from the configuration file. So now, these things, if it does not exist, that means in the else condition, you will code for, okay, that does not exist. That means file that if file exists like this, it's gonna look like this. Let's say, for example, let me look for text file. Let's say for this file, okay. And in the else condition, you will code for that file, particular file does not exist. In the status file, you will say input file does not exist, let's say. So for that one, we will code it. So most of the times in the else condition, these are the some standard lines we will use in all the else conditions. Okay. One is, first you have to create two variables. One is int success. Just variable name may be anything, but this is the procedure we are following. Okay. Just create one and initialize this value to, okay, 1, 0, 1. So since if it is a success scenario, it is 1. If it is failed, that means we'll change that value to 0. Okay. So now initial value is 1. The other one is str status. Str status. We don't have to initialize anything. And yeah, these two. So one is comment. What is this else referring? Let's say in our case, input file does not exist. Okay, here, as I said, we need to write some comments, right? So first, for if condition, you will write checking for input file existence. Here, input file does not exist in the comments. So what needs to be done, we are writing. Whatever, if it does not exist, we are doing these kind of actions, whatever. And the next one is we have to log that. Okay, where is our log2 file command? So by using this command, you need to log that, saying that, okay, let's say for example, any text file I am choosing right now, abc.txt, and as usual task name first, and then time stamp, and then, okay, task name, let's say for example AI test, and everything I am hard coding, but I will share some files in the real time how it looks like. Just have a look. .atmx, timestamp, let's say for example anything like this, and then since it is an information, I am giving info, and finally input file does not exist. does not exist in the specified location. Anything you can write, okay, in the specified location. That location they will specify in the BRD, business requirement document, that is not present. Like this, you will add one log file. And the next one is do variable operation. So some of the standard lines for each and every else condition, these lines changes input file. In case of input file, you may get something else. This log file, something else you will write inside it. Okay. So this one is standard for every else condition. Into success, change this value to 0. Change this value to 0. And then finally str status, assigning status. So what is the status? Same again. What is the status you want to send to the user? Finally, input file does not exist. Same thing. Input file does not exist. Right now, I have assigned status, but I am not sending it. Just I have assigned my status to, okay, some variable. But I have to send it to generator, whatever it may be. It may be if they want in the text file, in the text file. If they want via mail, via mail. Those things we will code it at the end. Okay. So in each and every else case, you will write it like this. Okay. Your code is done for now. Okay. If this file exists, it will do these actions. Otherwise, it will do these actions. Once after doing those actions, okay. So this one is handled errors. For now, just keep this. How to send it, we will see. But this is for else condition. We will follow this procedure. Okay. Now, this is about handled errors because you are expecting that file to be there. That is not there. We did. For every action, whenever you are launching any website, if object property exists, if window exists, we will check. In the else condition, this is going to be just the lines changes. That's it. Instead of input file, you will say web page does not exist. The object property does not exist everywhere, and you will code it like this. Whenever you are moving one page to other page, whenever you are navigating to from one page to other page, we will check if object property exists. If okay, we have to check that if condition everywhere when moving from one page to other page, at least once in a page, in any application also. Okay, so this is how we will do it. In the next condition, that is about handles, right? So today we are going to learn about unhandled errors. That means the reason may be anything, we don't know. Okay, it may be because the object exists but it is unable to identify, or the object itself is the other object. Okay, I said we have to check for one object, but there is one more text box where you have to write, but it does not exist. The reason may be anything. Okay, to handle them. That means through a correct message to the user, we will use this error handler. So this one. Okay, this is our error handler. Just we need to drag and drop this begin error handler, and we have some options. Okay, so it's gonna look like this. So in every file, the first command, okay, except variable operations, the first line, your code, let's say for example this is one module. Okay, the first lines are going to be begin and end error handlers. Between those codes only, these two lines only, we have to code everything. So this one will comes like this. Now my code is going to be like this. Any file for any function, we have to write it like this only. Let's say I will call it as ATMX files. Let's say in your process, you have divided your task into 10 different modules or files. ATMX file, you want to code it in 10 different files, and you want to call them. Okay, how to call them? Just keep it aside. You want to call them. So each and every task, these begin and end error handler are going to be the first lines, and in between only you have to code it. In between only we have to code it. Why? Okay, let me show you one, then why we will discuss. So if you see these files, everywhere you can see except variable operation, everywhere is begin and end error handler is first. These are all variable operations. You can see it over here. There may be one or two lines exceptions, okay, which may not come under error handler. Yeah, live coding. Maybe there are so many mistakes. It was the old code, but this is how it looks like.
So you start with
Comments and about comments, what this task will do, and date, and developer names, input output variables. If you are getting any input, yeah. Okay. So first one is task short term, which we are passing to every error handler as well as log file. You can observe our log file commands everywhere. Okay, yeah, they haven't used, they didn't write properly. Okay. Okay. Inside read input Excel, it will be clear for you. We have it like this. Will pass for log file command. Task short name, day, month, year, and hour, minute, second, info. Input file opened successfully. Because once after opening our input sheet we are using, so that means if it is executed successfully, then only it will come here. If it is getting any errors, our AA flow, okay, will go to directly to the end. Directly, if let's say for example line number 14 is throwing an error, it will not execute line number 15. Okay, according to our AA flow, it will go to directly to the line number 62. If we are getting any errors, unhandled errors, you can continue. Option is there. Okay, that is what we are going to discuss. Okay, if you want to continue or if you want to stop, purely depends upon the error criticality. If that input file itself does not exist, what you will do? How, whether you want to continue? If it is a handled error, okay, even if it is does not exist, I want my robot to continue. We can do continue option. If you want to stop it, you can stop it by sending errors. By sending. Yeah, anything purely depends upon process, error criticality. Okay, if this action does not happen, that means you should not proceed forward. We will not do it. We will stop that process, sending it, this is my error. Okay, let's say you want to continue, you can continue. It's purely depends upon. Okay, so anyway, so these kind of stuff, input ATMX file. Okay, I will pass it to my log file like this everywhere. So I am assigning it, I am hard coding it, and every line this is first and error handler second, because variable operation will not throw any errors until unless this variable is not present. If this variable is not present in this task, then it will throw error. Anyway, we will create and we will assign, so there is no errors. Okay, this is going to be first line, and then this is why, because this one I want to use in error handler also. If something unexpected error came, so here also I want to log that data. That's why I am using that one. Should, okay, without assigning any value to it, here it will be empty if I am getting any errors. So for that reason, that comes first and then this. Okay, so anyway, we will discuss error handler more, then we will come to this. So this is our task. Like this, you need to start coding. So first, here, whether you want to continue, whether you want to stop, this one will decide. Okay, if we are giving error handler with continue option, okay, what it is going to do? Let's say for example in this, like okay, here this one we are observing, right? So I gave stop. If something happens, just stop my process. So in case, let's say for example, let's discuss about continue first. What happens continue? So this one, if I choose continue over here, directly whenever if I got any error in between these lines, okay, it will go to line number 11, and from there it will continue. Okay, if you want to stop, that means even though if you are giving stop over here, it will not continue with line number 12. Simple case. Okay, so while coding, you need to be careful while giving this error handler. If you want to continue with the next action, let's say for example, we are looking for an object inside this web page. Let's say, let me take Facebook. Some optional fields will be there. Some mandatory fields will be there. Without mandatory fields, this application will not allow us to go forward. That means it will not allow us to create account without mandatory fields. So I think everything is mandatory over here. Yeah. So there may be some fields, optional fields also there. So if you are getting error at optional fields, you can say continue. Okay. So the point is, according to functionality, if we are choosing continue, it is going to continue from line number 12. Okay, whatever you are coding over here. Let's say, for example, I have coded again to check file itself. Even though first I check for file, if it does not exist, okay, it will go to else condition again. So if I am choosing continue over here, it is going to continue from line number 12. So for line number 12 also, you will have one more error handler like this. If you want continue options, it is going to be like this. Whenever you want to continue, you have to code it like this. Okay. So if there is any action which you want to continue, that one you will keep inside separate if error handler block like this. Okay. So even though if I am getting any error in between these two lines, I am going to continue from line number 14. Because in this block I have choose continue. In this block it's a purely option. You can say stop also. Anything. Whatever the code which you want to continue, you will keep it inside a separate block. Let me show you one more example. Okay. Where I have used continue. Okay, in this case we have seen stop. That means anyway it's not going to continue with the other lines. Just leave those lines. Now user access control. In this particular website, I have to send mail to the user. Okay, login is enough, I think. So you can see, so I have to log into an application. Okay, I have to log into one of applications. So here, what we have decided is, if first time login fails, maybe user ID wrong or password wrong, I want to try one more time. Like that, I want to try 3 times, let's say. Okay, even after trying to logging into 3 times, if it is failing, okay, say that failed to log into that application as final status. That means 3 times I have to continue. If it is successful in the first scenario, I should not continue. If it is failed, that means I have to try second time, third time also. So for that, just observe this code. This is our application. Okay. Till this, okay, just logging. This whole page is for logging into an application. Just navigate to that application. You will go to one page. There you will ask for credentials. Enter those credentials. Let's check this. I think we will have access or not. Let's check this. Yeah. So this is the application. Okay. Here we have to give user ID and password. So for that, just observe the code how we did. Max times. This one I am reading it from the configuration file. Int max limit 3 will be there for the text file. So 3 times it's gonna try. If I want to try 4 times, there I will change it to 4. If I want to try 2 times only, I will change it to 2. And then begin error handler, end error handler with continue option. That's it. No, I don't want these options to be done. Okay. So now, see, object cloning for user ID, object cloning for password, object cloning for submit. Login. If I am getting any error, okay. So here I may get error, here I may get error, here I may get errors. I don't know. If it is throwing, if the object property does not exist or something else happening, again it will start from here. Because we are looping 3 times. First time it tried, it failed. It will continue with this action. Okay. Line number 36, it will do. Okay, I have failed. Logging in failed. Okay, here we will get the status as login failed. Okay. And finally it will check for an object whether this window exists or not. That means once after successfully logging in, I gave one more object to check. This line number 39 is to, once after, let's say for example, I have logged in successfully. Okay, anyway, so the next page, one of the object I have captured. So if that exists, that means login successful. If it does not exist on the screen, That means we are unsuccessful. So that is for, see, you can see that window name also, QT Insurance Portal. Here I think it is logging in. It is showing same. Yeah, here it is Access Portal. Okay, it is showing same. But yeah, the next, whatever once after, if it is successfully login, the next page, property, one of the property I am looking for. If it exists, that means I am successfully logged in. Okay, so and exit this loop. That's it. I don't want to continue second time. Otherwise, this will does not exist. If it is failed means this object does not exist. So it will come to this end loop again. It will continue with the second time. Same thing it will do again actions. So here, if you are getting any error means only these three actions for logging in, right? So that is what we are checking right now. This is how we'll code it. So okay, just understand the functionality of that command first, and then we can explore this code more. I will share it if you want. So if you want to continue with the next action, that means at the with line number 14, you are going to choose continue. Over here, you will choose continue. Otherwise, stop. That means you are not going to continue with that task. Take snapshot. The next option is take snapshot. That means, let's say you got error. Whether it may be continue or it may be stop, irrespective of these two actions, if you want to take a snapshot of your desktop, exactly what is there, because as I said, we will code it in the development environment and we will deploy it in some other machine. That may be production. It may be in the US also. We will not observe that. They don't want to see that production because it may contain sensitive data. They will not share their screen how it is performing. Okay, it purely depends. But if you want to analyze that error, exactly what happened when I am getting that error, okay, what is that screen position? Okay, how that screen is. To take that snapshot, we will check this and we will take a picture. So it will save that image. Okay, like this. Inside my docs, in our folder structure, over here also you can observe. Inside logs we will store. Where you want to store, that location will be inside configuration file. Okay, you can see this. Excel spreadsheet contains any one of the following: empty headers, duplicate header names, or invalidated cell of range. Something is misty over here. Okay, so it is throwing. At that time the screen position was like this, with the error plus some missing element. So I will check, okay, it may contain empty headers, or whatever I have passed command was wrong actually. The command and the Excel sheet was not matching. So it thrown an error. Like this. At that time you can see to take this snapshot. Okay. So while taking snapshot, again same thing, this location, first one is AI application path. The other one is the location which you have stored inside your configuration file, where you want to store. This one. From here to here, this location will come from the configuration file. Okay, snapshot path. So that one we can, let's say for example, right now let me assign it. We have assigned prompt assignment and snapshot. This one also in the main task I will assign it to. Okay, in every let me show. Anyway, so this name is going to be like this, but inside a variable snapshot name snapshot underscore time frame day month year day underscore month underscore year underscore time, totally hours minutes seconds dot png. So but the snapshot, from snapshot to till dot png, we will keep it inside a variable like hard coding inside main task. Okay, this one also you can observe. Okay, I don't have main task. Sorry. Start value calculator MSC India. Where is my main task? This one, right? You can observe snapshot day month year dot png. These things we will pass it to the next tasks. Okay, the same thing this one. No, we will code it. We will code these two lines.
that box, checkbox you showed us.
Which one?
One checkbox you hard.
We will not hardcode like this. We will in the main task. I will assign one log file name and one snapshot name. Whenever I am getting error, it is going to be saved with this name, snapshot name.
Save that file.
No, here in this location, what is the name of that file is going to be? Okay. To save this file, we need some name, right? So that name I am creating in the main task. For all the subtasks, we will pass it.
So whatever the error,
put it in that location with this name. Okay, that is what we are in the main task we will do. Not in every task.
So you go there and check what.
Yes. Directly you can go and at what time you got error. You can name it differently also. It's purely depends upon if you want name. Okay, if it is in this particular file, if you are getting an error with that name, if you want assign task chart name.
You just specify the location.
Location will come from the configuration file. Name I am specifying over here. Name. Okay. Location is different. Name is different. To that file name, I am hard coding error like this. At what time I got error? With like this. Whatever you can give, but this timestamp is very much important because to know what time error got error, to analyze some issues. Most of the times we will follow timestamps. If you don't want also, we can remove it. Purely depends. Just we are specifying name, and it will take that snapshot. In between, wherever in between these two lines, okay. For this begin, this is going to be the end. Okay. In between these two lines, if you are getting any error, it is going to take a snapshot and it will save with that name. That's it. Okay. Now run task. This one in the real time purely depends. If you want to stop task, you have to check this box. Otherwise, if you want to continue, we are not checking this box. Instead, what we will do is, so this run task is to send status saying I got so and so error. But this one in the real time we will not do it over here. Okay, we will choose continue option in every task, most of the scenarios, and at the end I will code it. So right now this is continue, right? This is my continue option. That means according to our explanation, what it will do, whenever I am getting any error, what it will do, it will continue with line number 23. It will continue with line number 23. So in the line number 23, I will code it for send task. Okay, status. Let's say you want to write something into an Excel sheet, you have to fill that status. So that lines, how to write into Excel sheet, those lines you will prepare a separate task and you will call it over here at the end. So it will continue with this section. It will use this status wherever you are also you can set status. Okay. So we can run this task here also, but here it will not give that exact message whatever we are planning to send. Okay. So that is why we will not check this. Instead, we will use continue option and we will code for that status over here. Okay, for your information, you can see here I have chosen continue option. I have checked snapshot, application path, okay, and then snapshot path, which is I am getting from the configuration file, and this one I have hard coded over there in the main task. And log file, same thing, application path, log file path, and then log file name, whatever the data I want. So here is, okay, we will discuss about log file later. And one more variable assignment. It is like this. So if I am getting any errors in between, according to our scenario, it will come to line number 50. It will come to line number 58, and it's gonna do these actions. What is this actions are saying? Fail to decrypt the login credentials or something. And finally, the output I have to send whenever I got any errors. I have to send an mail. Okay, I have failed with so and so scenario. So fail to assign roles to the user. User ID does not exist. Some mails. I am sending a mail like this. Okay. So that one we will code. In your case, it may be you have to write it into an Excel sheet, or you may have to write it into that lines you will code for over here. Instead of send mail, you will code for that one. Otherwise, create a separate task and call it everywhere. It's like reusability. Okay, while discussing about run task, I will explain more about how to create subtasks and all the stuff. At that time, you will understand clearly. So you will code it over here for now, whatever you want to do. Okay. Most of the times we'll send status. What is that error? And okay. So that is about sending. Okay. And here you want to log some information. Inside log file, you want to log it. Okay. So log to command and same thing. Task start name, timestamp, and at the time of info, you will write error. 2 lines. This is in every begin error handler log file. These actions are going to be constant. Every action is going to be constant. You don't even have to change anything. If I send this command to you, you have to use the same command. Everybody will use the same thing in the error handler. Nothing is task specific over here except this task start name. Everything you can observe, this location maybe changes from the. So here error description, we have a system defined variable which will give you error description. And at what line you got error line number, and error description. These two are two system defined variables. Okay, so let me show you inside my variable operation. F2 error description and error line number. Those things, because we don't know when we are going to get error. You have coded, something happened, unexpected happened. Okay, it is not according to our code. So it will tell you what is that exactly what went wrong. You have coded for this. This is not present. Okay, let's say for example in the object cloning, if you are getting any errors, it will say search criteria did not match. So you are looking for an object. Let's say for example inside text box, if you want to write, if it is throwing search criteria did not match with line number 17, error line number, and that means line number 17 లో ఒక ఎర్రర్ ఉంది. ఏంటి అంటే అక్కడ ఉన్న టెక్స్ట్ బాక్స్ ప్రాపర్టీస్ ఇక్కడున్న నువ్వు చూస్ చేసుకున్న ప్రాపర్టీస్ డిఫరెంట్ గా ఉన్నాయి. ఐఎమ్ నాట్ ఫైండింగ్ దట్ టెక్స్ట్ బాక్స్ ఇన్సైడ్ దట్ వెబ్ పేజ్. ఐఎమ్ unable to find that with these properties. Search criteria did not match. Unable to click on link. These kind of errors you will get it. That error description you will get. Okay, using error description you will get it. And error line number, you can see it exactly at what line number it got errors. This line number, it is going to give you line number 14 or 13 or 12, 1, whatever. It will log that. Okay, so you can observe this log to file command. You can, by seeing that log file, you can directly say, okay, line number 17, what is that property? Okay, I'm looking for this text box. Go and check that web page. Okay, our properties are matching, then something else. We will do some investigations, workarounds we need to do. Like this error, okay, error description, and use system defined variable and error line number. So it is going to write. You can see my log file also whenever I got errors. Error with error description, contents. You just now we saw that same message screenshot and error also. By seeing them by reading this, okay, this is what happened. So let's go and check that snapshot. Okay, then we will see that rest of the things like this. Error line number is 17. Okay, this is how it will be for error handler. And then this one we will not use this over here. If you want to send mails, so simply it will not send with any subject from whom you want to send, and this is from address to address it is expecting, and then attach snapshot. Whatever the snapshot we are taking over here, it is going to attach that one into that mail. And if you want to attach any variables also, it will attach all these variables, all we have created. But specifically, if you are creating it like this, these many variables, they don't know what is, because business persons, they don't know what is this variables, what is this data it is giving as an output. Even though error is fine, errors may occur, but what is this data? Unnecessarily we are sending so much data. These variables we are creating for our developer choice variables, there will be. Okay, for that purpose we will not check this over here while sending mail. Okay, simply it is going to send with subject line, okay, error occurred. at what line, what is that issue, it will not send that exact information. That's why we will not check this. Okay. Instead, let's just now we saw, if you want to send a mail, send it like just now at the end, send mail I have used. One more send mail with continue option. And finally, variable assignment, int success 0. The initial value of that variable while creating int success was 1. Whenever any error occurs, it will change to 0. Simply, it will do all these actions. Any error occurred in between, it may be continue action or it may be stop action. It is going to execute these actions. Okay, that is what we are doing. So this value changes 0. So now two scenarios. First, when I said handle errors, we did some else conditions. This is also okay error only because this file itself does not exist. If this file exists, you will code whatever you want to do in that file. If it does not exist, I am changing this value to 0. Even though error occurring also, I am changing it. These things we call it as handled errors. Because I'm predicting, okay, this may, okay, file may exist or may not. Here also, this one unhandled errors. These things, whatever you are doing inside error handler, this one we call it as unhandled ones. These things we call it as handled errors. Even though handled errors are error handled అయినా సరే unhandled అయినా సరే అది ఒకవేళ మనం కరెక్ట్ ఇన్ఫర్మేషన్ పాస్ చేయాలి యూజర్ కి అనుకుంటే ఆ స్టేటస్ ఇక్కడ str status input file does not exist to str status. In the same way, here at the end, what I am going to, this is also standard, depends only on how you want to send that output to the user. F2 int success is equals to, if it is 0, if there is no error, that means its initial value is going to go on, it always is going to stay constant, only 1. If there is no error, this value will not change to 0 because it's starting with 1, it will be 1 if it is our flow is continuously running without any errors. But if it is changing its value to 0 means, okay, you got some error. I am checking the condition. Okay, if this value 0, that means, okay, here also we gave that f2 int success is equals to 0. Whenever any error occurs, change this value to 0. That is what I am checking. In between these lines, if there is any error occurs, it is going to change that value to 0 and it will continue from here. First I am checking that one, int success 0. And then str status, variable operation. Str status f2 error description. See, here it's handled error. So I want to give to the user, okay, input file does not exist. I am predicting it. It happened. It will change the status to input file does not exist. But this one for unhandled, if you want to send that exact error description, what is happening, that will be inside this, our error description, because we don't know what is that error, exact error. Okay, this is going to throw one error information. That is what I am passing. Just now we saw it. It may contains duplicate rows or duplicate headers, empty rows. That is what it's unhandled. I don't know. Actually, whatever the Excel I am expecting, it's perfect. But there is some, okay, header is missing. Header line, whatever we are expecting, it is missing. That is what it throw. Okay, so that is will be given by this file, this line number, error description to status. And finally, if I want to, let's say for example, if I want to send mail, with what is that information you want to send, we will have send mail actions. We will do. Okay, at the end we will have send mail if I want to send mail. Otherwise, let's say for example, if I want to write it inside a Excel sheet. Okay, create a task, okay, to write inside Excel sheet, and you will call it over here. Okay, so tomorrow if you want a simple task, we will create and we will run it. If there is any error occurs, it is going to come over here. Okay, just if you have installed AI, just try that one. What I want is create an Excel sheet. Okay, let's say for example, inside that str status error line number I want to write. Once after explaining run task only, you will be able to understand. Okay, we will discuss that point also. So this is how we will do error handlers. Okay, now how to divide a task, how to call them from one task to other task. Okay, we will use run task command to do that. We will use our run task command. That is, so this is your most important command in a run task. Okay, so if you want to call tasks continuously, so first we will discuss some functionalities, how to divide a task. If you got any process, let's say for example, let me open a BRD first. Let's go with NSE. So this is our requirement. First we need to go to read input values from input Excel. That is RE number and bank name, we need to read it. Okay, this is the Excel picture, that is RE number and bank name is present, and we have to read it. So this one, reading information, and then just observe here, navigate to particular URL. So once after navigating to this particular URL, you are going to take State Bank of India and you are going to enter over inside the text box. Let me explain this process fully. We are going to enter first 3 characters of bank name in the search box. Whatever the bank name you got over there, you have to enter first 3 characters only. Okay, not fully. And then you will get some search results like this. Okay, and select one item from list which matches with input file. If no exact found, select item which includes. Actually, we have already coded for this thing while discussing about object cloning. Okay, to do this, first exact match, then includes condition, we have already coded. So that is what that code you are going to write, and then extract the highlighted text in the below. Okay, if you are once after clicking on it, you are going to extract this information and you are going to write it in the same file. So if fill the Excel all with values extracted above, exact match or partial match or no match, that status you need to send. If values found, record exist or no record. If any error occurs, error line number and error description. So in the status column, Excel sheet itself, here itself you have to fill. One is status. That status is and match percentage, partial match or no record or exact match. That one, and then status. If your record is successfully found, then a success scenario. If it is failed, why it is failed. Success or error description here is expecting in the status column. And next, name of that website. Okay, and stock value, previous close low, whatever we have extracted, that is what inside these columns they are planning to fill. Okay, so this is the requirement. Now how to divide this requirement into tasks, different tasks. Okay, so first, according to me, first one task will be startup task will be there. For every process, one is startup task or reading configuration information. Whatever the variables which we are going to use inside in every task. That means, let's say we know how to read data from a configuration file, right? So now if you see this data, whatever you are reading inside this configuration file is present, this data and this we have to read it inside that startup task. Okay, and then if there is any input file, if it exists or not, without input file we should not proceed. If there are any mandatory applications, mandatory files, if you are using any application, okay, that URL is present with you or not. Okay, those kind of stuff. So those are mandatory information for our task. It's like input files, or if you want to write something into output files, Okay, any templates if you are using, or anything, folders, files, anything, you are going to check there, all the mandatory ones for our process. I am going to run an application. Okay, whether that file application is installed or not, you have to check it. Okay, those kind of stuff inside startup task will do. Reading all the configuration information plus checking all the files exist or not, all the application file present or not inside your local by using if conditions. Okay, these two you are going to do, and then if it is successfully running, that is one task mandatory everywhere, and one is cleanup. The other task is cleanup task. We call it as it is also going to be there in each and every process. Okay, so cleanup task means before running process, whatever the files or applications we are checking. Let's say for example, I want text file. Okay, and I am using Internet Explorer. I am using Internet Explorer and one Excel sheet in my process. In this particular process, what we are using, Internet Explorer and Excel file. That's it. Only two applications. One is web application, the other one is our Excel sheet. These two we have to make sure if that same file is already opened, or if the same website is already opened before running the robot. If they are opened, let's say manually, you want to check something, you have opened, you didn't close it then. So this website we have seen while observing about web recorder, we have seen one scenario. It will not launch, it will use the same session. If you are using open browser command, it uses the same session too, it will not launch again. So for that purpose, before running any robot, it is compulsory that you have to close whatever the application you are going to use. First close them. First startup task, then cleanup task, you will call it. In the cleanup task, if I am using Excel sheet and if I am using Internet Explorer, I will code for them to close. Okay, I will code, just close this. I don't want them. I'll start freshly. Okay, if Internet Explorer is open, just close Internet Explorer by using close window command in Windows Actions. It's the same way for Excel also. Close window Excel. In this command, this one I will code. Okay, by using this command, I will close everything. First I Internet Explorer and then Excels. In the same way, if you are using 3 different Excel, close 3 different Excel sheets. And in the Excel sheets also, you have to handle so many scenarios while closing. Okay, so the first one is, let me open Excel sheet. Okay, here itself I have, right? Sorry. Let's say I did some changes while closing. We don't know how the situation may come. You are not doing changes also. Let's say while closing, you may get this window also. We may get, we may not get. So these kind of things also we need to handle. So if this window exists, close this. Click on save or don't save. It really depends on your process. If you are doing some changes, save. If you are not doing, even though if we are getting, click on don't save. Okay. So these kind of issues. While closing Internet Explorer also, it may open 3-4 tabs also before running robot. Manually you are doing something and after that you want to run robot, but Internet Explorer is already opened like this. While closing, I may get close all tabs, close current tab. Which one you want to? Depends again. Okay, these kind of stuff you need to do. You need to handle. Okay. So while checking if window exists, you will check. Over here, we have that option, right? If window exists, we have discussed this. For small window, now you are going to check for this window. So this window, now one more point, new point, I think I forgot to tell. This one you need to check for this child windows, because here also Internet Explorer, this one is also Internet Explorer. Both are Internet Explorer. So to check that, check this box. so that it is going to differentiate that one with this one.
So you need to do the URL or
You are not URL.
that website that
Okay, that one we'll discuss. That's correct. So, okay, first point is this is going to differentiate shaded windows from main window. So both are Internet Explorers to identify exactly. So anyway, which one you want to close? Close current tab or close all tabs? Which one you want?
depends upon the situation.
Yes. If you want to close, let's say for example, actually before running our robot, we want to clean everything, all, and we will open that session freshly. And in the web recorder, we have closed browser, right? That one will close only whatever we have opened.
Right.
So that one we will use while at the end. In the starting, we will use close all tabs while running the robot time. Okay, before running, just you will run that. The first action it is going to clean everything. Okay, so while cleaning also, if you want to eliminate hard coding, first you will call startup task and then cleanup task. So one cleanup, two scenarios. How? One cleanup, two scenarios. One is there you want to clean everything. Here you want to close whatever you are opened. Okay. So at that time, just give an if condition. If, okay, pass a variable saying starting position. If it is equals to 1, do these actions. If it is equals to 2, do these actions. In the if blocks, you will place. That's it. And by variable operation, you will pass. Okay, this just pass 1 over here to this task. So it is 1 to that action. Like that, you can eliminate those kind of issues also by if conditions. So cleanup task, one is mandatory, and the final one is error handler. These three tasks are going to be there in every task and every process. So error handler in the sense that is what it is going to write errors. If you want to write errors inside Excel sheet, or if you want to write send email, or if you want to generate text file, they in the task we will code it and we will call it after our error handler. Okay, after exactly end error handler, you will call that task over here. In the line numbers 18, it is going to be error handler task. Okay, these three tasks, error handler, how you want to write your errors depends upon process. If you want to send it, okay, those kind of stuff we will do it inside error handler. I mean error handler task. So now how to divide these three are common tasks. Leave it. Now project specific, process specific, how you want to divide this task. So this one we call it as architecting our robot. Architecting our robot. So here everything you need to predefine. Each and everything, first you need to understand your process very clearly. No matter what, if you have any single question in your mind, you need to ask your BA or SME, and you have to make sure everything is clear about this process now. Then only you are going to start. Okay. Sometimes if I am missing some small thing also, again we have to redesign our robot. Depends. It will waste so much of time. So before starting itself, just read all the BRD clearly. Make sure if you have any questions, you can ask. Yeah, we will get that kind of scenario. So if something we have missed or they have missed, because if they are not writing over here, they will forget. Most of the times they will forget some small things. They will forget. They will ask us to, okay, I forgot to mention this point. I forgot to mention that point. These things happens. So now the point is how to divide tasks. Okay, after clearing everything, we will architect this particular process now. So now, depending upon the functionality, we are going to divide our tasks. Okay, and process into subtasks. So there are three levels.
Yes, say we have to architect our task.
Yes,
Then we
architect. Yeah, architect. Theoretically, they are present, but they will not help. టెక్నికల్ గా ఒక ప్రాసెస్ గురించి టోటల్ గా నువ్వే ఓనర్.
ఒక రియల్ సినారియోలో ఆర్కిటెక్ట్ డిజైన్ చేస్తాడు.
అవును, అక్కడ వేరు, ఇక్కడ ఆర్బీఐలో మాత్రం అలా లేదు. ఆర్కిటెక్ట్ ఉంటాడు ఎక్కడన్నా ఇష్యూ వస్తే హెల్ప్ చేయడానికి. మా హోల్ టీమ్ 50 మెంబర్స్ టీంలో ఒకటే ఆర్కిటెక్ట్. జస్ట్ ఎక్కడైనా ఇప్పుడు నాకు సంథింగ్ ఇక్కడ మనకు కోడింగ్కి సెట్ అవ్వట్లేదు, ఏదైనా సొల్యూషన్ ఉందా అంటే కొంచెం ఎక్కువ తెలుసు అన్నవాళ్ళు అంతే. హెల్ప్ కావాలంటే అడగచ్చు, దాంట్లో కూడా ఏదైనా సరే హెల్పింగ్ అందరికి అన్ని ప్రాసెస్లకి కలిపి ఇక ఎక్కడ హెల్పింగ్ ఎక్కడైనా ఇక్కడ ఇష్యూ ఉంది నాకు కొద్దిగా ఆన్సర్ సొల్యూషన్ కావాలంటే లుక్ ఫర్ సొల్యూషన్స్. అదే డోంట్ కంపేర్ డిఫరెంట్ టెక్నాలజీస్, అది ఉంటాయి ఆ రోల్స్ ఉంటాయి. ఎస్, అక్కడ కరెక్ట్గా ఉంటాడు ఆర్కిటెక్చర్. ఇక్కడ ఏంటంటే ఇప్పుడు షార్టేజ్ ఆఫ్ టైం, షార్టేజ్ ఆఫ్ డెవలపర్స్, ప్లస్ ఆ ఆర్కిటెక్ట్ అందరినీ మేనేజ్ చేయడం చాలా రేర్. అది ఒక్కోళ్ళు కాదు కదా, 50 మెంబర్స్లో ఎక్కడ ఇష్యూ ఉంది ఎక్కడ ఏంటి అవి చూసుకోవడానికి పోతుంది. సో జనరల్గా అయితే మన రోబోట్ని మనం డిజైన్ చేస్తున్నాం మోస్ట్ ఆఫ్ ద టైమ్స్. అలా చేసుకుంటే మనకే ఎక్కువ బెనిఫిట్ ఉంటాడు. ఇక్కడ ఒకళ్ళు వచ్చి హెల్ప్ చేయడం కన్నా నువ్వే ఓన్గా టోటల్గా నీకు ఫ్లో తెలుస్తుంది. అప్పుడు ద వే యు ఆర్ థింకింగ్ ఇక్కడ తెలిసిపోతుంది అన్నట్టు. ఒక ప్రాసెస్ గురించి ఏది ఎప్పుడు కాల్ చేయాలనేది తెలిస్తే ప్రాసెస్ ఎంత ఫాస్ట్గా ఉండాలి, ఎంత ఎఫిషియెంట్గా వర్క్ అవుతుంది అనేది డిపెండ్ అవుతుంది. ఫస్ట్ ఒక టాస్క్ డివైడ్ అనేది చాలా ఇంపార్టెంట్. ఆర్కిటెక్ట్ చేయడానికి ఒక రోజు తీసుకున్నా సరే నెక్స్ట్ అది చాలా హెల్ప్ అవుతుంది మనకి. ఫస్ట్ ఏ టాస్క్ కాల్ చేద్దాం, ఎక్కడ ఏది వస్తుంది, అవన్నీ డిసైడ్ అయిపోయి తర్వాత కోడింగ్ స్టార్ట్ అవుతుంది. అది ఇప్పుడు అదే దాని గురించే డిస్కషన్ మన పాయింట్. రేపు ఒక చిన్న యూస్ కేస్ తీసుకోవాలి. ప్రాబ్లం ఏంటంటే ఇక్కడ మీ దగ్గర ఇన్స్టాల్ అయ్యి ఉన్న విషయం నాకు ఇప్పటివరకు తెలియదు, ప్రాబ్లం అక్కడ వస్తుందా. ఓకే, సో ఒకవేళ ఏ ఉంటే ప్రాక్టీస్ చేసుకోవాలి అనుకుంటే ఏదైనా ఉంటే అక్కడ రియల్ టైంలో మీరు కూర్చున్నప్పుడు ఏదైనా హెల్ప్ చేయడానికి కరెక్ట్గా ఉంటుంది. ఒక రోజు పెట్టేసుకొని మీరు ప్రాక్టీస్ ఇది సినారియో చేసి ఇవ్వండి, ఎక్కడ స్ట్రక్ అవుతున్నారో నాకు అర్థమవుతుంది. ఓకే, సో అదనమాట. సో ఎనీవే we'll plan it accordingly. So this is our process now. According to me, first whatever they are saying, we have to continuing processing all these records whatever they have mentioned in this Excel sheets. Okay, we have to continue from record 1. I have to do this rest of these actions depends upon, okay, whatever this is for one record in the Excel sheet, for one row we will do the same action first. Anyway, we already went to that website. What we will do, enter 3 characters, process, extract. Once after extraction, you will fill that Excel sheet. That means if it is successfully completed, so first row is completed, now second row. I have to start with second row, third row, same actions. The rest of the actions are same. So inside first I will open my Excel sheet once after doing these 3 actions. First one is startup, where I am going to read my configuration information and checking that files. And second thing, cleanup. Error handler is it will not come everywhere. Whenever error occurs, we will call it over there. After end error handler, we will call it in every task. In every task, you have to call that. Okay, error handler task. Now, so according to me, I have to open Excel sheet. I have to get all cells from this. Okay. Start loop each row in an Excel sheet data set and read these 2 values. These 2. That means not these 2 not rows, columns. RE number and bank name. Inside that, I have to call these tasks. One is first what I will do is I will navigate to whatever the actions I am doing on this particular page. Only the screen which you are seeing in this NSC going into this website and then entering 3 characters, finding the match. This is going to be one task for me in simple words, because up to step number 4, 1 2 3, sorry, one is okay, one is that is main task, 2 3 4 is going to be separate task for me. Why? Because see, once after clicking over here, okay, here itself we are deciding whether I am getting exact match or I am getting partial match or I am getting no record by looping inside. We have already seen, I think I have that code. If you remember this, we have already coded for this. I don't know, I need to check it. Object 2, most probably object 1. Inside these 2 files it may exist. Yeah, you can see this. This is object 1, object 2. Total number of times, exact match found. In this class itself, we have discussed this about the same thing. Again, flag result 0 includes condition, partial match found, no record found. Okay, so that one we are going to be one task for us. Okay, and then extracting. That means I will navigate to particular web page. There I will check for object property and I will do the extraction part. That is going to be separate task, and finally output generator is going to be one task. So output generator may be reusable component. So I hope you have some little confusion, okay, over here. I know. So let me show you. Let me start with like this. Okay, we don't have that much time. So tomorrow also we'll discuss about this dividing our task only. Okay. So if possible, try to get your laptops with installed AA. Then we can do some real-time practice also. Half an hour, first half an hour I will explain. Then we'll start coding. Okay. So that you can parallelly code for NSC task also. Okay. Yeah, we'll discuss tomorrow.